Hi creative friends! I'm so happy to share this Monogram watercolor tutorial with you today. These Bespoke watercolor cards make for the most delightful wedding gifts and are such a joy to create. I've printed off letters on copy paper and I'm carefully cutting out each one so that I can trace around them with a pencil. I like to give 5" by 7" cards to the bride and groom, and I find this is a good size to paint and add florals to because the letter size is big enough to not get lost behind the flowers I add on top. Creating a one-of-a-kind card and tailoring it to a bride and groom is a really special way to show your love to the special couple. I don't worry too much about tracing these perfectly because I will erase any errors when I try to erase most of the outline. By leaving just a light outline, I can cover up the pencil marks with my watercolor paint. I love to choose watercolor paints that coordinate with the bride and groom's wedding colors, so I often look at their invitations for color inspiration. Both brides this weekend chose wildflower themes with multiple colors, so it was really exciting to incorporate that into my work. I'm filling in each letter with a light olive for the base coat. I prefer to paint a little of the outer edge of the letter and then fill in as I go. I love to use smaller brushes for this, more for control than anything else. I've listed my favorite brushes in the description below. I love how inexpensive this paintbrush set is and how it offers 10 different sizes, so I can choose the best size to suit my needs. You may find you need a larger or smaller brush to get just the right control you need. It's so satisfying to paint these letters. As my letters dry, I test my colors so I can get a feel for which ones I'd like to use and how much water I need to add to get the right shade. Then I mark them according to the bride's color choices in her invitation. The first flower I paint is a 3-petal, sort of upside down teardrop, dainty little flower. I place each individual flower along the letter, making sure I extend the flower and stem and leaves outside the boundary of the letter. For the leaves of this flower, I like to start with the tip of my brush and then pull down gently and move back up to the tip again as I connect to the stem. The next flower is a grouping of tiny circles bunched together into a pine cone sort of shape. Finally, I'm painting a dainty tiny peony with little dabs. I go back into some of my flowers with darker paint to add a little bit more detail. Once the paintings are dry, I move on to stitching the ribbon I love to wrap around my wedding cards. This ribbon is so soft and textured. I pull all the ribbon off the spool and cut it in half so that I have two sections to work with. I like to practice wrapping the ribbon around a blank card with an envelope so that I make sure it's a good fit. I use DMC floss. I use 3 strands at a time and I like to knot it at the end. This color here is ecru. This first stitch is a simple daisy stitch, and I just work that stitch around until I have formed 5 petals for my flower. Now I'm using an olive green for the French knot I put in the center of my little flower and for the stem and leaves. The leaves are also daisy stitches, but I make them longer than my petal stitches. I hope you will give this tutorial a try for your next wedding. Here are a few more watercolor tutorials you may like as well.